How are you, gents?
Good, thank
We're
you.
good, yeah. And
Good.
you?
Good. Um, welcome.
Thank you.
Jeg heter Chris. Jeg kommer from Dublin. Jeg er på bane. Thomas er 8, og Pippa er 6.
Wow,
Ja, gratulerer.
veldig bra.
Hvordan har du det?
Vi har det bare bra, takk
Veldig
som
bra.
spør.
Yes. How was that?
That was perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sounded really good.
I'm afraid we can't do this interview in Norwegian. That's me pretty much exhausted, but I
That's what we had prepared for, but
I thank you. Um,
Uh,
I've been to tons of rock now for the past 2 or 3 years in Oslo,
all
and
right.
like I interview a fair few Norwegian bands, so I thought, do you know what, I'm going to try and learn some Norwegian to sort of help it along a bit. I might think of something else as I go along, but we'll see, we'll see. But anyway, thanks guys, welcome. And where are you at the moment?
we're at my place. So I'm Sindre, and yeah, this is Melvin, the drummer of the
Yeah,
band.
Sorry, what's your name? Melvin.
Melvin, yeah,
Okay, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
you too.
So you're
So
at your house, Sindre.
yes, and we have a cat that is very eager to join the call at some point. It's
The more the merrier. The more
just
the merrier.
roaming around.
Yeah, it's like the
And
fifth member of our band.
the mascot.
Yeah,
Cheers. Mm.
Cheers.
cheers.
Oh, nice. Um, you're based in Oslo, right?
We are, yes.
So when we stay there, we stay in like some apartments near the train station, the central train station. We walk over the bridge, and then we get the tram up to the where Tons of Rock is, like in a mountain, a sports place.
Ekeberg, yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
whereabouts are you guys? Are you like further out or?
we're located. Yeah, so it's we're on the east side of Oslo, so we're not too far away. But we're more towards. Did you go to Grünerløkka when you visited?
What's that? Do you like?
Grünerløkka is like a neighborhood in Oslo, a bit like what do you call it? Like a gentrified. Is that what you call it?
Cafes, bars,
Yeah.
parks,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We okay. How far are you from Helvete?
Probably 15 minutes to walk.
Oh wow, so you're really close.
Yeah.
Cool, cool. Yeah, I went there a couple of times. I'll tell you my story of the people I've met in Oslo and musicians at another point, but let's talk about you guys. So, Sykofant, is that the name pronounced correctly?
Sykofant, yeah.
Oh, Sykofant.
Sykofant.
Yeah,
Just straightforward.
And
that's more than good enough. Yeah.
does that translate to pretty much the English?
It does, yeah. It's
Like,
it's a Norwegian word for sycophant.
yeah. Oh, so it actually is a direct translation.
Yeah, so that's actually how we found the word. We didn't know it was a Norwegian word, and we didn't either know it was an English word. So after hearing the word plenty of times during the last Trump presidency, at some point I just read the word, and I always thought it would be something with a PS,
Yeah,
something with a psycho or
yeah.
psychopath or something. But so I got curious and just had to search up the word, and then suddenly found the Norwegian dictionary for Sykofant, which is just a perfect word. But I don't know exactly why we're called that as a band, but somehow it suits us.
Yeah, because
You,
in English, it's like uh, it's a person who sucks up to someone in higher power. And
exactly.
are we on the same? Right. Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Right. Someone who scratches other people's backs, trying to kind of gain some kind
Advantage
of
in.
advantage. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But in like the metal culture, bands are always called something negative, and they're not always talking about themselves. I guess maybe that's that might be
Yeah,
a reason to call us
we haven't
that.
tried to kind of characterize ourselves. I hope.
I hope. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long have you guys been a band?
Well, we started off. So I met Emil, the vocalist and guitar player, in it was 2019. So we met at university, and he had been playing with Per, the other guitarist, for a long time. But they have recently just started this project. So they had written a few songs, and I started playing with them. It was just before the lockdown, actually. So it was like early 2020. And then me and Sindre, we've known each other for quite a few years. So we went to upper secondary school together.
I guess that's what it's called, yeah.
Yeah. So about 5 years.
5 years.
So Sindre joined the band a few months after we started.
Yeah, so I guess I joined in June of 2020, in the middle of the COVID summer. So Melvin just asked me, "Do you want to play bass in a band I just joined?" And I hadn't played bass for like 10 years, but I said, "Yeah, sure, why not?" It's not not much going on, so.
And so you only released your debut album last year. What? Yeah,
Yeah.
last year, 24.
Yes, almost a year ago to this date. Yeah, or no, sorry, 31st of May last year. So
Yeah. So not far away. And it was self-titled.
Yes.
It was. Yeah.
Any reason why you went self-titled this early in your career? Usually it's about 6 albums down they do it, but
Yeah, true. Well, I think I can't really remember that it was up for discussion. I think it was I think it was just we never called we just called it the album. So
Right.
it never actually had a working title. It was just called the album. So I think at the point when the songs were finished, Emil, who's written all the lyrics, I think we kind of decided that it's kind of the name Sykofant was just good enough on its own for the project. Yeah.
And
correct me if I'm.
We wrote the album in chronological order. So track 1 was the first one, second one,
Okay.
and
Right.
And then as we started playing in the COVID period, we couldn't really play any gigs, so we just started writing more and more material, and we had a couple of maybe other riffs and songs that didn't make the album, but we always just went for the next one. And then at some point we realized we actually have a concept full, maybe it was just an EP or something we aimed to make.
Yeah.
But suddenly we had an hour worth of material and like a concept album. So we just had to make the concept and
That's really interesting how you
little
did it chronologically. Like the first song you wrote was first on the album, second, third, fourth. Like, were you sort of putting yourself under a bit of pressure to do it that way? Or was that the way you decided to do it? Is that the way I've just never heard that before.
Yeah. No, I think so. Emil and Per had already written 2 songs when we kind of came along, and I don't think they hadn't really decided that it was going to be an album at that time. But when we joined, and then we started playing some other playing on some riffs that became like the third song. I think at that point it kind of just made sense to, because we started playing those 3 songs, and then okay, so where do we go from here? And then that naturally kind of accumulated into the 4th song, and then so it's kind of like feeling staying with it energy wise in terms of what felt natural to, like which direction that felt natural to go on after we've kind of played those 3 songs for quite a while, and then so kind of added on to the story.
And I guess the concept also suddenly started to be created also maybe when we were at the 3rd or 4th song or something. So then we were like, okay, now we need a desert song because we're in the desert, like thematically. So then we wrote Strangers, which is our take of all sorts of desert influences.
That is really fascinating, actually. I've never heard that before, but I mean it works really well. So your debut album, and now you've just released Red Sun. Which came out in, I think it was the 31st of March, was it?
Well, it was the 20th of March.
Sorry, 20th.
We released the EP and then a single just a few weeks before.
Yeah. And I was really looking forward to the EP because I can't remember how I discovered you guys. I'm not sure if we spoke or whether I got a promo through it, but anyway, regardless of that, delighted to discover and really interested to hear the new EP. And for me, there is some not massive differences, but let's see if this makes sense to you. I think your debut album was a prog rock album, and I think the EP is.
Sorry.
She disagrees. Um, the EP is more progressive metally. I think there's a certainly on the opening track, Ashes, which I think is absolutely brilliant. By the way, that the riff at the end, the section, but it has a real Opethian feel to it. The opening, and like they're my favorite band of all time, so I fell in love with that. But I think there is definitely more metal-y influences on the EP. Does that sound like a fair statement?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if it's very clear, but the Red Sun EP is like a thematically continuation of the desert themes from the album, and then so sort of like in the storyline, it's so the protagonist stays in the desert on the desert planet for quite a while, and then we just skip to the next song, and he's out of the desert planet. But then this tells the story of what he was doing there all these years, and so then it made sense that the desert themed EP should be quite metal influenced, and we are almost all of us, maybe except Melvin here, we are all really into all sorts of metal from or hard rock to the hardest of black metal and everything in between.
I've gotten to become a more metal, more metal oriented or more metal, more like enthusiastic towards metal. So it wasn't so much that I didn't like it; it's just I'd never played it before.
Well,
So
okay.
so during the recording of the first album, it was still a bit new to me to play that kind of technique or that kind of more rock because I'm used to playing more jazz and
Well, okay.
soul, a bit more mellow types of music. So it was a kind of a transition and like learning experience for me to get a bit more punch to the
So
to
on the
the
next EP, obviously, Melvin, you're gonna have to learn blast beats if that's the direction it's going.
exactly. That's we're still having a discussion at the band whether I should get double bassed double pedaling.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And what's your
still
kit
haven't
like?
gotten.
I'm always interested in drummers because the fills fascinate me. And I'm interested to know, like, are you a two rack tom, floor tom snare? Is that your setup, or is it a bit more?
Yeah, so I've switched a little bit, but it's usually one rack tom, two floor toms.
Okay,
For the first album, and then for this EP, it was two rack toms and one floor tom. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
right. I
Uh,
mean, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth for the next record, but I mean, is there talk of like double bass and stuff going in there? Obviously, I'm not talking about like Slayer double bass or black metal, but sort of a bit more. You know how like Mastodon use double
right.
bass in certain points. Has that been just
Exactly.
talked about?
It's definitely talked about.
Yeah.
It
I
is.
guess we all encourage you
Yeah.
to start looking into it, but it's no rush. And
Yeah.
it's nice to play in a band that is also not that like we're metal influenced, but we don't play metal in that sense. So
Yeah,
it's a bit. I guess we all have played in different metal bands throughout the years, and it became quite what you say like limiting
yeah,
some of the aspects of metal and
yeah,
the production and some of the. It's not that fun to play. Well, it's fun to listen to. I really enjoyed
yeah,
listening
yeah,
to
yeah.
it, but it's more loose, I guess, what
Yeah.
we're trying to aim for now with the prog jazz.
True.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like Norway, when someone says, "Oh, I'm talking to a band from Norway," and they're like metal or rock, the first thing is, are they black metal? Like 9 times out of 10, someone's going to say that. Because the only other bands, and I'm sure you'll know, but the other bands like in your wheelhouse playing like this progressive rock or whatever you want to call yourselves, the only other band sort of I can think in that is like Kvelertak, who
Yeah.
are Norwegian. So I'm not saying the same sort of style, but I'm saying not that extreme end of metal, like the accessible, if you will.
Yeah, because there are quite a few prog rock bands, very cool bands from Norway. But
I've
I
heard
guess
this.
I guess they lean more often to more like folksy, like with the
More adventurous.
synthesizers,
Yeah,
adventurous.
yeah, yeah.
Not that we maybe, but I think we have more of a foot in like classic rock,
Yeah, for sure.
and with progressive elements more than being a straight up prog rock band.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, like you can hear the early rock of like I don't know. You can correct me if I'm wrong at any point, but like yes, like Rush, mate, the um, not so much Dream Theater, but certainly the earlier. Uh,
Pink Floyd, and yeah, we're
yeah,
We
we
definitely
certainly
listen to a
listen to
lot.
all of those all of those bands.
yeah.
Um,
And so you got the second EP is coming out this year as well, is it?
it
Yes.
is, and it will kind of tie both of the EPs will make out the next album. So we're waiting. With this EP was only a digital release, and then when the next no, or the next EP releases, it will be released in physical format on vinyl and CD together with
Okay.
the Red Sun EP. So there will be side A and side B.
Ah, interesting. Because I did
Uh,
that. One of my questions was why did you decide to do two EPs instead of an album? Was it?
Yeah, so yeah, so
Oh, please.
we decided we wanted to do a desert themed EP. I'm not sure how it was never really a discussion. We just knew that that was the next project we would
Yeah.
undertake, I guess. And then we also thought that if we make a desert EP, it would be nice to also make a forest themed or a lighter
Okay, cool.
EP. So the next one will be maybe a bit lighter, but
Bit more
also
mellow, definitely.
yeah, but also if this Red Sun heavier EP also has quite some soft elements to it, so
Cool.
maybe the softer side will also have some harder sides to it. But yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
sorry, go on.
No, sorry. Yeah, no, I think also reason why we decided to kind of split it up and then release the songs now was also because we got quite excited writing the this new EP, and I think we also talked about that we wanted to get it out there because there's also a disadvantage to kind of waiting for too long and making everything ready, and then time goes on, and so we kind of wanted to as a way of getting the music out there and not wait for too long, also to keep a bit of momentum up as well.
Yeah, yeah, sure. And are you on a label or is this all self-released?
It's a self-release, so we have our own label.
Oh, cool.
Currently one band signed.
it's called Sycophantastic Records with the English spelling.
Really?
Yeah.
And who's
Just
the band sign? Is it just Sykofant?
That's us.
yeah, it's more than enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're self-funding this then, the whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are. Yeah.
And do you, as a band, are you sort of old school when it comes to recording? Like you get in a jam room, record together, or do you use the digital age of someone might record a riff, send it to someone, and then blah blah blah?
No, so I would definitely say that we're leaning more towards the old school way of doing
Yeah.
it. So the first record we did it in a studio with a really good producer called Ole, who did an amazing job helping us mixing the album as well. And this second time we kind of want to see how it would be if we did it ourselves. So for the EP we've done, we recorded everything ourselves, making a kind of a very homemade studio in the recording in the rehearsal room. Yeah, so it's everything is done in like live, if you like. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
and so I'm not sure if you can hear the difference between the album like sound wise and the EP, but it's maybe the EP is more of a modern
Mm.
sound somehow, but as the album was more it's not a live album, but it's played almost live. Like
Yeah.
we made multiple takes,
Right.
me and Melvin, all the way through, also with the backing guitars, and then we just kept the best parts, and then
Mm.
that was the album. But now we made it more modern, like riff through riffs, and yeah, a bit more
As in the recording process, you're now more doing guitar takes, Melvin's doing the drums.
yeah.
Yes, yes. So we done it after each other. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we I guess how we write the music is it's mostly Emil who wrote the music for this new EP, and then of course he's very digital, making all these project files, and so it's like a baseline, and then we work from there. But from with the album, it was more late night sessions in the rehearsal room, and then those slowly we put them in a system in a project file later. So it's yeah, it's quite different, and it has
Yeah.
its ups and downs, both of the ways of working.
Yeah, yeah. And you obviously yourself funded the record, you did your own vinyl. One of my friends got the record and bought a t-shirt as well, which was a nice
Oh,
little
really?
Remember,
do you did it when it comes to pressing either records, CDs or cassettes, whichever way you want to get the medium out there, do you do a limited as in let's do 25, 50 presses of vinyl and see how it goes and then go after that? Or do you go, let's do 250 and do it
yeah.
that way? Because it's a
So
gamble either way, isn't it?
it is, and we spent quite a lot of money on recording the debut album in like with studio time, professional mastering, and then we decided only to do vinyl, not the CD.
Okay.
And but we didn't want to compromise. So if we wanted to keep the length of the album, the 55 minutes, and also with the different dynamic changes, we basically had to make it a double album. So we have two discs, which makes it twice as expensive to
Yeah.
print, and we also included a 16-page booklet with all the artwork for every track. And
Beautiful.
so we went kind of all out, very, very bad business decisions all the way through. If the band is a business, but I guess
Yeah.
it's probably not a business. It's probably a misuse of that word. But yeah, so I don't know how we decided how many we were going to print, but there was we got a very much better deal per unit if we had a larger pressing. So we
Yeah.
ended up with 200 vinyls actually.
Okay.
Which was just a number drawn from nowhere. We had no fan base, no Facebook page, no nothing. So yeah, we actually almost halfway through the first press. So
Yeah.
that's I guess
Great.
it's been gone pretty
Pretty well.
good. Yeah, it could have been worse,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
it's still a huge loss, like the complete everything we put, because we basically don't make any. We make like a small margin on top of what we made to print the album. When yeah,
We're a non-profit
Organization.
Yeah.
yeah. But then we got very many after we released the album last year, and we printed like a promo CD we sent around to some YouTube channels and reviewers, because some reviewers are still pretty old school, like only reviewing physical media.
Yeah.
No download links, no stream. They want like something in the mail.
Yeah.
So we thought, okay, we will print like a thin CD just for that purpose. So we sent those around, and when someone, I think it was Sea of Tranquility, if you know of it's like a YouTube channel reviewing
Okay.
prog music from the US. So he was showing this CD in his review, and there was just so many people in the comment section and just sending us messages like, where can we buy the CD? It's too expensive,
amazing.
or with the vinyl, I don't want a vinyl, I want the CD. And then we didn't actually have a CD for sale, so then we decided, I guess we should print a small, very limited edition of CDs as well.
I think that was 50.
That was also 50 pieces, and
yeah.
those are very, very soon out. So
That's great.
I'm a CD guy myself. I never transitioned
Right. Okay.
to a vinyl collection, so I was very self-interested also in having the CD in my
Yeah.
collection.
Yeah. Do you know there's people in talking about reviewers? So we get them sent by email like promos. So it's just easier, you know. And if we like it, we buy it. That's our way of like giving back, because we don't make any money off this. We just do it to doing what we can do to support bands. But I've heard where uh, people will only review an album if they get a copy of the record in vinyl. Like they're just saying, unless you give me a record, I'm not going to review it. And I mean,
Right.
it's just sad. Like,
Mm.
look, I know there's loads of bands out there now who are, starting out and trying to get their music heard, and that's great. But I think when it comes to that, that's just for
Mm.
me, it's just horrible way of exploiting bands and their hard work.
Yeah.
Well, why do you reckon uh, those reviewers are so in a way that that they want the vinyl and
I don't know. I mean, because they're sort of saying they're, using their time to listen to it and write a review or whatever they're doing, and they want something in return.
right, yeah,
Which, look, I mean, you can judge as you think, but I have my opinion on it.
right, right.
I think bands are struggling enough at the moment, particularly post COVID, where there was no touring at all
Mm.
for bands. There was delays on vinyl coming out, records are being delayed because of it all, and I just think when bands are like yourselves,
Mm.
putting your own money into stuff like that, asking for something extra is for me it doesn't sit right, but
Right, yeah.
that's it.
No, no, it is an expensive hobby.
Yeah.
Oh, it is definitely.
We
Yeah.
And
talked
it's
about.
understandable that someone wants something in their collection and something for their time. But yeah, it's good. I guess if you do reviews and not getting paid for it, I guess you should have some sort of drive, and your motivation should be to actually listen and analyze the music, not that much
Exactly. Yeah.
what you get
Yeah.
in return. But of course,
But
everyone wants to get something, so it's of course understandable. But
yeah, it is understandable. Look, I mean, like I said, we don't get paid for this. We get promos. We can get guest lists if we want. But even if we get guest lists, we'll buy merch from the band to give back to them. And like the main reason we do this is we love music. We love getting to meet bands, people like you. And if we can get like my mate, for example, buying your record and a t-shirt, that is job done. Like
that was
that's
really I
Yeah.
really remember because I was I was the one sending it in the mail. And then that was I think the first T-shirt we sold online, and then
Oh, right.
one of the first vinyls also we sold,
no way.
and it was really.
Oh, great. I'll
Much
tell it. Well,
appreciated. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
we and you sent us the photo like you guys had a Zoom meeting or something with
yeah,
him with the T-shirt,
yeah.
and yeah, it was a nice moment.
Well, his name's Owen, and he's a listener of the show, so you can thank him now if you want.
Oh, great.
Thank you, Owen.
Thank you, Owen.
Yeah, and
Really appreciate it.
he's coming over to Oslo with me this year as well to
Ah,
Tons
nice.
Rock. So we'll have to meet up and have a I don't know coffee or beer, whatever you guys. I don't
Yeah,
go
Sounds
to the
good.
gym
not sure
anymore.
if anyone of us have tickets, but some of us have used to go to Tons of Rock, so we might also be at the festival.
Oh,
But
well, look, we can meet in the city in the morning or whatever, and just
yeah,
have a
Sounds
catch
good.
let's do
up.
it.
Let's do
That'd be
it.
nice. Yeah. So you're actually touring quite a bit as well, from what I've seen doing my research. Like you're headlining a festival on the 25th of July, the John Sunshine, is it or something?
Yes.
Yeah, well, it might maybe seem that we're quite active on the live front, but we played our second ever gig 2 weeks ago in Bergen. So we had one gig in Oslo, the release gig for our album,
And where was
and
that on?
then where?
Where did you play the gig in Oslo?
Revolver. It's like this rock metal
Is it upstairs?
club. No, it's the basement scene, and then you have Kniven, which is like a bar upstairs.
Nivenbar.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
nice.
I know Nivenbar. Oh, the
Yeah,
Yeah.
Revolver Club on the side of it.
Yes,
yeah.
right.
So we
Oh,
had
okay,
a
cool.
we had an after party at Kniven after the
Nice.
concert. Yeah,
Yeah, and then we played in Bergen. It's about 3 weeks ago, together with two other bands, progressive jazz rock bands. One band called Panzer Papa, a really great band. They're maybe more towards the 70s jazz, Frank Zappa kind of progressive rock, and a band called Troika, which and they're from Bergen, the
Okay.
west side of Norway. Also, really, really great bands. So we were very honored and very lucky to play with them. And then so that was the second gig, but we have a few. We do have a few gigs planned for this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this headlining one, right? Your headline.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's the next one planned. It's in Denmark.
Yes.
Yeah, small festival. Um, we don't know that much about the festival, but we
Yeah.
know that we've been in contact with the organizers, really nice people. Yeah, so we're looking forward to that.
But
So
I
it's a
mean,
kind of a
headlining
yeah.
after having 1.5 albums out,
Yeah.
playing two show. Well, I assume you were in talks with them before you even played a show.
Sorry?
I assume you were in talks to headline the festival before you even played a live show.
Before Bergen, yeah.
Yeah, but we had the one gig from our release concert from last
Okay.
year. That was
So you had
in the books.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we had a
One
few
gig.
clips and
Yeah.
stuff.
One gig getting 1.5 albums, and you've been asked to headline somewhere. That's incredible.
Yeah, and then we had the next one after the Denmark one is at the Hellbotn Metal Festival. So that's like basically a black metal festival just outside of Oslo in Kolbotn. Where Enslaved is actually the headliner. So we're opening, not sure which day yet, but we're not the headliner at that festival. You know, I Enslaved,
Yeah.
I
You're
guess.
sub to Enslaved. Sub.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the one where you have to get a plane to an island, is it?
Oh no, I think
No.
you're.
That's Karmøygeddon, I
Yeah.
think. Haugesund or
One of my friends, she said,
Yeah.
"Oh, you need to come over to this, but you need to fly to Oslo and then get a flight to somewhere else."
Might be also. I know there's a festival called. I'm thinking about Trana.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Trana.
There's
That's an island
so many
festival.
festivals in the
Yeah.
summer here, so it's hard to keep track.
Ah.
But it's a metal rock festival, I figure, or
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So it might be the Karmøygeddon
Yeah.
one.
I'll
We're not
find
playing
out
that
anyway,
one.
let you know.
Not that one this year, but we have another gig in the same city, the Haugesund, which is the Haugaland Prog and Rock Festival.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Caravan? It's like a UK band from the 60s, like a prog,
Yeah.
together with Soft Machine, and so they are headlining that festival. And we are, I guess, opening one of the days there as
Yeah.
well. But we're very humble and we're very grateful that we have been given all these opportunities to play
Yeah.
gigs when we really haven't actually played that much. Or
Yeah.
It's incredible. Like you should
Yeah.
be so proud. Like
Yeah. No, we're
absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like considering
We're-
you've been around for, well, you've been a band for 6 years, but only released something last year and getting congratulations, guys. Amazing stuff.
Thank you.
thank you.
And we're very we really appreciate that people and the organizers are kind of like believe in the project and wants us to come and play. So
And it's our main motivation is just it's fun to meet up with the guys and just play and write music. And it wasn't a problem not releasing music or playing live shows or anything like during the first 4 years of our existence. But
Yeah.
then when we actually release some music and put it out there, it's really nice to get so much positive feedback as well, like from you and your friend and from everyone else out there that has checked out or bought our
Like when you
one of those
started and before you had, like obviously you were in COVID, did you, as a band, did you think you'd be sitting here today saying you're headlining a festival in Denmark, you're playing these festivals with Enslaved, Caravan, all these bands? Did you think it would happen?
no, I would say
Not
no.
really, not
No,
really.
not really.
But at the same
Cinder's
time,
face
we
said
all-
no, and
we
you were
also-
like,
Maybe.
not realistically, like
Yeah.
maybe like maybe I thought the golden age of rock music was kind of over. It's harder to put your music out there. Like even though you release stuff online, it will just drown in
Yeah.
the sea of something. But it's quite a pleasant surprise that there is actually such a thriving community with especially rock metal music
Yeah.
out there, and still fans like buying merch and are really into the music, not just Spotify playlists on shuffle and like really listening to a whole album. And
Yeah. That's something when I speak to talking to bands, so much comes up is streaming and how it's a gift and a curse. Like, for you guys, please don't take any offense to this, but being a smaller band in the scene, like, just having someone who, like, for example, my friend who I said listen to him, got him on Spotify and had the chance to listen, but then on the other hand, you might not get merch sale out of the back of that. It's a tricky one. And back to your point, Cinder, actually, with the luxury of having any band at your fingertips now, you know, people can listen to 30 seconds and go, don't like that. Whereas I think actually Ashes is a perfect example of the new EP, where it's a very slow burner, but when you get to the end of it, it just brings so much joy. Like, I was outside mowing the garden this evening before came on here, proper middle-aged dad, like, you know, but I was listening to it, and that just is so good, and your music is such a lovely sunny day album to have a beer and just sit back and just have it on the background, you know, it's lovely.
Right.
What was I
It's a
saying?
pleasure that we have
Yes.
managed to be the soundtrack of mowing
Yeah.
mowing the garden.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you should stick that on
That's
the
a
next
pleasant picture. Yeah.
LP. You know, on the front where it says you could just put like good soundtrack to mow the lawn to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect music for dads
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy with cold beer
I-
in summer.
and the children as well.
Yeah.
I think also it's a because we were quite prepared also before we released the music that maybe no one's going to listen to this. Maybe we're like way, you know, like late to the game. We're making songs that last for like 12 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
people don't have time for this in 2024, 25. So yeah, it was a really pleasant surprise that there's still quite a few enthusiasts.
And the first song we released as a band was the single from the album was Between Air and Water, which is the second track of the album. Like 12-minute song. We thought that should be the way we present our band for the first time to the world. Like, we do long songs, we don't compromise. But then again, we have very many transitions and stuff on the other songs, so we thought it might make more sense to make like radio edits, which might fit better in like a playlist or something.
Yeah.
But then again, still, before we released our new EP now, we still had like Between Air and Water, 12 minutes, not the radio edit or anything.
Yeah.
That was still the most streamed song we had on Spotify. So I guess we never tried to actually write the music in a different way, but then we just tried to like snip it to make it more digestible out there. But then I don't think maybe that's the way to go for us.
We should just embrace the 12
long form. Like, maybe we don't get all the listeners, but the ones we get, they appreciate that more than just a snappy summer single. But apparently we have one of those as well.
But I mean, like Opeth on their debut album, Orchid, In the Mystery of Standing, was like 16 minutes long. You know, on your very first debut to come in with that track is just amazing. And I think, look at Opeth now, and I think that they, like you were saying there, Sindre, the compromise, I think if you start putting in radio edits, and this is just my opinion looking in, I think if you start doing that, you're sort of not being true to what you're trying to achieve. And you are trying to appease the fans who have a very short attention span, when I think prog listeners are very attentive, and they enjoy that. They enjoy the ebbs and flows and dynamics of the whole thing. So I've no problem at all with long tracks. So just keep doing that, 12 minutes or more, and you're good.
Yeah, I guess we have one 15, 16 minutes one in our upcoming EP. It's almost done, like writing wise, but we still have a few details left. But I guess we have and we're a bit limited by the two vinyl sides, like the length.
Of
so
course,
it will be quite the same length as the Red Sun EP. But we're still not trying to limit ourselves in any ways other than that. Like, we could have made 6 tracks for the EP, but I guess it will be about 3 songs this time as well.
Okay. That's still good though, and it'd be great. Are you going to do vinyl? Yeah, have you already lined it up? And
Yeah, well, we have to record it before we can actually like order the
oh, it's
pressing.
not even recorded yet. Okay.
No, we will record it maybe in a few weeks.
Few weeks. Yeah,
Yeah, or
that's the
start in
plan.
a few
Yeah.
weeks.
I love how casual that is.
Yeah.
Like we'll just pop down the studio and record it in a couple of weeks, and then it'll be fine. Like
Yeah, well, that's the luxury of having of recording it ourselves and having especially Emil and Per, very gifted like sound technicians in our band who
yeah,
knows all the ins and outs of the software and hardware, and
yeah, yeah.
it makes our job quite easy as a drummer and a bassist to yeah.
And just coming back to Nivenbar quickly there. So I've been fortunate that I met Frost in there. I met Garl in there one year. On my flight to Oslo last year, I was sat with a Bath and his band. Like, so like as I'm a huge black metal fan as well, so that was just like incredible for me. Um, like does it sort of when you're in Norway and you're in bars, it's just like, there's Satir from Satyricon. Like, does it get to that stage, or are you ever like, oh, there's whoever.
Yeah, it happens, but then again, I guess maybe Per from the guitarist from our lead guitarist from our band, he has been more like in the very metal circles. So I guess he's like a friend of Fenris from Dark Throne, or
Oh
like
no,
or his colleague is a friend of him. So like he's been to his place a couple of times, and
amazing!
Fenris actually played one of our songs on his radio show for Tons of Rock last year. Just
Wow,
when the single released, like 2 weeks after, we were Fenris was just because he had heard like an unreleased demo tape, and he just really loved Between Air and Water. So
wow,
that's I guess it's quite a small country and many
yeah.
metal musicians, so it's not like a huge coincidence if you meet some of them or know some of them. But then again, I guess Melvin probably doesn't know. If you see a metal guy,
yeah.
you're not sure if it's a fan or if it's a superstar or something in between.
But I do get starstruck when I see
Uh,
yeah.
I remember seeing the
So
Dimmu Borgir guys at one of the bars in Oslo one time, and I was like, oh, but then no one I was with knew who they were, so it was only. So
Amazing.
yeah.
That's insane that Fenris listened to your music and enjoyed it and played it. Sorry,
Yeah.
not in a, oh, I'm really surprised he liked your music, but that he actually listened to it.
Yeah, and
that's
we
very good.
actually he had heard our music on like when we had a demo tape, just not in the studio at all. But then we recorded the debut album in the same studio that Darkthrone currently uses to record their newest albums. And then we got a text message a few was it months ago
Oh yeah.
from our producer Ole, who told us that Fenris was currently using the kick and the snare samples from our release, like just the raw tracks, as a reference track for the new Darkthrone album.
Yeah, like
Oh,
like a blueprint. Like
That's
this is
then I got quite starstruck. Like if it's a super coincidence, but it's really cool.
Melvin hasn't got a clue who
Cool word.
Fenris is. He's like, who's Fenris? What?
yeah,
What
yeah,
is this
yeah.
guy? Why is he using
I'm
my?
just smiling and nodding, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So cool.
Is that the
On
guy from
Google, like,
Mythology? No.
yeah.
that's amazing. That's so good, guys. This has been great. Like, it's so nice to sit and talk to you guys, so laid back, and some incredible stories. Considering you've only been in a band for like 5 years, or 6 years, sorry, whatever the year is, but absolutely incredible. And I'm so happy for you as well. Like getting these festivals and being on bills and touring and stuff. Like, and I hope there's so much more to come in the future. And I hope I get to see you live at some point because that'd be great.
Thank you. We
Thank you. Yeah,
hope to
and
see you
likewise.
there as well.
Yeah, for
This has
sure.
been really nice.
Yeah, and let's keep in touch for the
Oh,
festival this year, and we'll see.
100%. We're there from Tuesday to Sunday. So we've got loads of time. We know where we're going in Oslo now, pretty much. So yeah, 100%. Let's meet up and
Yeah.
beer.
What are you most excited to see at the Tons of Rock, or have you really dived into the
Tons
lineup, or
of
are you just
rock.
going anyways?
No, so it's actually the headliners aren't great, to be fair. But Old Man's Child are playing.
That's the one. If I was to choose just one day, I would probably pick. Is it Thursday or Wednesday? It's just one. It's one of the more random days, but just because
Yeah,
that project hasn't been live
yeah.
in
Oh,
like 3
sorry,
years.
Emperor. I've never seen Emperor. Like I've
Oh, they're
seen,
playing.
yeah, Emperor playing, Dimmu Borgir, Dream Theater, Machine Head, Megadeth, Meshuggah, like uh,
Death
Turbo
Heaven.
Negro, who seem to be like a bit of a they're massive in Norway, aren't they? Turbo Negro.
Turbo Negro, yeah, but
Oh
I
yeah,
guess they're massive
yeah, they're really big.
worldwide, I guess, or
Yeah, but in Norway when
very
we
inappropriate name, but they
yeah
somehow
I think
managed.
they're really big in like Norway, Germany, and probably the US as well.
yeah like they have the jackets with like Turbo Negro and then like the city they're from and there was so many of them.
Yeah, yeah, very good.
Belphegor, Carcass, Death Heaven. Have you heard the new Death Heaven album? Are you a fan?
I am a huge fan. I loved it.
It's great, isn't it?
It's one of the best ones I think they've made.
I agree. I
It's,
100%.
it's on repeat all day long. Like when especially it's perfect music to work to. It just goes and goes, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Not
I'm
to cut
writing
the
that down as
lawn.
well.
That's some things for the blast beats.
Okay, okay, yeah.
It should
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
Get some inspiration.
Actually, send me on the bands you were talking about, Melvin. You said that those few bands that you played your release show. If you want to send them on to me after, via however,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'd be
yeah.
interested to hear. I'm always up for hearing new stuff, for sure. But guys, thank you so much. This has been great, and thank you for your time. I know it's what nearly 10 to 9 now, and you probably have to record your album or something. Have you something like that on the
Yeah,
We
horizon?
were
just
just
gonna
at band
ask.
practice earlier this day, actually, but
Oh, have you? Oh,
now
well,
it's.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for your time, then. I really appreciate it. And
Likewise.
Thank
let's
you for having us.
let's
Thank you
meet
for
in
having us.
Oslo. 100%.
Do
Let's
it.
make that happen.
Let's do, yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Cheers, gents.